Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. Before the commercial break, we had a great opportunity to talk to the former mayor of the city of Tustin, but currently the city councilwoman, Letitia Clark. I think that is very important that we continue to celebrate Black History Month, because Black History Month is something that's something that we celebrate our diversity throughout the year. But in the month of March, we're now here to celebrate Women's History Month. Letitia has reminded me the importance of identifying as a mother, but I want to remind everyone that to me, March is Women's History Month. We celebrate the women that has paved the road for us, but more importantly, we need to continue to celebrate the women that impact us to this day. And I think one of the most important thing is to also celebrate ourselves. So Letitia, I think it's very important that you are a role model for me, to be able to, you said during the commercial break, to be unapologetic when you're taking care of yourself, when you're making decisions for your family. And sometimes you cannot go to every event because when you are the mayor, everybody wants you to be at every event. But I know how hard that can be sometimes because people might not fully understand your priorities. Tell me, what does March, Women's History Month, means to you?
Really, it feels like a pause button to just celebrate the great work. I think as women, as moms, we're kind of in this grind mode all the time. You know, are my kids doing great? Is my family doing great? You know, am I achieving the things I want to achieve? March sometimes feels like we can hit pause and just celebrate the great work that I've done all year, that my friends and people in my life that I want to celebrate. It feels like an opportunity to celebrate them. And as you mentioned earlier, looking into the past of people who have paved the way, but also seeing people all around us who are doing the work right now and hopefully paying it forward for our daughters and for generations to come, making it easier for them, putting a couple more cracks in that ceiling, opening up that door just a little bit wider for, you know, generations to come. And so it feels like just an opportunity to say, we're going to just pause and celebrate and recognize small and big achievements of women all around us and women who, you know, we look up to as mentors and you know, role models.
Well, thank you. I think that's so important for everybody to remember that it's a pause button. And, you know, when you do pause, you get to see what's beautiful around you and to kind of celebrate that present moment. You know, so thank you for reminding us all to take a little break. Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, Julie đọc một câu hỏi là tháng 3 là tháng phụ nữ, là có ý nghĩa gì cho Letitia Clark? Letitia nói đó là tháng 3 là một tháng là nhắc nhở quý vị là ngừng một chút, đó là pause. Ngừng, tại sao mình ngừng á, là tại tháng 3 nhắc cho mình thấy đó là có rất nhiều người phụ nữ làm cái model, cái role model trong lịch sử của mình, mà hiện tại cũng có rất nhiều người phụ nữ hướng dẫn mình. So với Julie là người mẹ của Julie mà mất rồi đó, là vẫn hướng dẫn Julie. Cũng có Dr. Sharani là một cái mentor của Julie lúc mà Julie học trong University của Loma Linda, mà lúc đó Julie rất có nhiều cái khó khăn, mà Dr. Sharani là cũng có một người hướng dẫn của Dr. Sharani, đó là Mother Teresa. So Julie thấy đó là Julie có rất nhiều người phụ nữ hướng dẫn cho Julie, mà lúc mà Julie có cái nhiều khó khăn về sức khỏe tâm thần, sức khỏe đó là Julie có psycho chân không. So Julie thấy đó là mỗi người mà mình ngừng một chút, mình thấy là có người nào làm cho tương lai của mình rất là tốt đẹp, với là mình có cái thành công ngày hôm nay. You know, Letitia, I just share with the audience that, you know, to me, when I paused and today, I messaged a few people. And because to me, March is a time that I celebrate people who helped me through some of my major hurdles in life. When you know, my mom, even though she's not here with us physically, she continues to inspire me and to guide me. And Dr. Sharani was actually someone who helped me when I was in Loma Linda. You know, when my autism was more severe, my learning disability was more severe, and I didn't have as much aspirations or even I guess, positive things to say about myself.
Right.
And she inspired me to do so much more. I used to be a secretary for her.
Okay.
And I would pick up the phone. But because of my dyslexia, I would write down the wrong name, the wrong phone number, and oftentimes the wrong message. And rather than getting fired, I got promoted.
Wow.
And that's one thing I would tell you, that the reason why Dr. Sharani inspired me so much, because she said, oh, that job is not fit for you.
Right.
You can't do the simple job, but you can do the hard job.
Yes.
So I became her personal assistant.
Wow.
And, you know, as I became her personal assistant, I got to learn so much more about her mentor,
right.
which was Mother Teresa.
Okay.
And so Dr. Sharani is from Sri Lanka, and I wanted to take this time to also, you know, thank her for being such a role model to me.
I love that.
And, you know, I want to also share that, you know, during my mental health struggle, I also got to, you know, learn more about faith.
Right.
You know, so I went to a Seventh-day Christian school, and I grew up in a Buddhist household. I was such a rebel. But when I met Sister Chan Kong, she taught me mindfulness, which is the pause, and which is the present moment, and the celebration, and the point of gratitude.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes in full circle, with what you just said to me.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for reminding me that, you know, I've always been blessed.
Yes.
And that we need people like you to remind us that we are blessed and continue to bless each other.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me.
So I want to ask you, who is your inspiration that you want to highlight for March Women History Month?
There's so many women in my life that, and I have, you know, like these big role models like Shirley Chisholm. You know, I looked at her picture the last time I was in the halls of Congress and just kind of, you know, stared at it for a while. And there's big people like that, but really it's people like my mother, my grandmother. When I think about my grandmother, who's my dad's mom, some of the barriers that she's had to overcome throughout Jim Crow, through segregation, and she'll be 90 this August. Just and how she talks about it as though it wasn't a big deal. It's just what we had to do. It's just what I had to overcome. She became a multi-property owner at some point, was a landlord, had her own business, and worked for Ford Aerospace. So she is such an inspiration to me, and mainly it's the humbleness of it, that to her, it's just what you had to do. And so if I come from women that did great things and they just seemed like normal things, then I know that I can go even beyond that. So I think that inspires me to just keep going and not to feel like some of the accolades or anything to be, you know, to take too much pride in, but to do it and to move on. And because this is just what is done in our family, I think that always inspires me a lot. But people that are close to me, the women in my family probably inspire me the most. And hopefully I'll take my own advice and pause and celebrate them and send them a text or call them this month to say just that. Well,
you know, Letitia, I really appreciate you for sharing your story and for being here, because I think it's so important that, you know, instead of just me and you saying hi and bye periodically in a social event, we got to sit down to learn more about each other and how we became who we are today. So I think you were able to remind us that we build on the hardship of our family.
Sure.
And showing that strength and that resilience to continue. But I hear the humbleness in your voice, that through so many of your accomplishments, you're so grounded, you're so humble, and you're always so kind. Thank you for always being kind to me when I see you at events. But I really think this is a great pleasure to sit down with you.
Well, I got to learn so much about you as well, and respect all that you're doing and how you're serving the community, even in this TV show, just spreading awareness and having an opportunity to celebrate when you can. So thank you for letting me join you today.
Well, thank you so much, Letitia. Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với former mayor của thành phố Tustin, hiện tại đã là nghị viên của thành phố Tustin, Letitia Clark. Julie hỏi đó là cái người nào mà inspire Letitia. Letitia nói đó là người mẹ của Letitia luôn luôn inspire Letitia để cho làm rất nhiều việc, được thành công với làm rất nhiều việc quan trọng trong cộng đồng. Mà quan trọng nhất là Letitia muốn cảm ơn bà ngoại hay bà nội của Letitia, là grandma của Letitia, là trong cái khó khăn trong cái lịch sử của người da đen, là cũng là về slavery, về có cái khó khăn đó. bà ngoại hay bà nội đó là một cái người mẫu rất là quan trọng để cho cô có cái sức mạnh hôm nay với có cái thành công giống ngày hôm nay. Julie cũng cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV đã luôn luôn ủng hộ chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Julie cũng nhắc nhở quý vị tháng 3 là một tháng cho phụ nữ, nhắc nhở quý vị đã ngưng một chút. Mình phải cảm ơn cái phụ nữ nào mà có làm cho mình thành công hôm nay, mới làm cho mình có làm rất nhiều việc trong cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình. Julie cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV đã luôn luôn ủng hộ chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội, và Julie chúc quý vị rất nhiều sức khỏe và may mắn hẹn gặp lại tuần tới.